Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and as always, I'm thrilled to be here with you and thrilled to have you here with me. And I'm not alone. I've got my good friend, my co-host, the Big Toe himself, Mr. Don Longbeard is here.
Hey, when are you going to start this thing? Is it time yet?
It's now.
It's now? Oh,
it's now.
Now? Oh, hi.
We're live.
How are you?
I'm good. Were you talking to me or?
You too. You also.
Oh, thanks.
Hi.
We're doing good here. And not only are we joined by Don,
me,
but we are joined by a very long-time wonderful friend of the portal, a friend of mine personally, and wise man beyond his years with incredible insight and amazing presence. None other than our good friend Mr. Naysay is joining us here on this Friday the 13th episode. Naysay, are you here?
I am not absolutely 100% positive that I am here, but I am somewhere, and as long as we're connecting, then hey, I'm not going to complain.
Well, good, because that won't get you too far anyway. We don't have a complaint department.
Nobody gives a damn.
But we love you, and we're glad you're here with us. Thanks for being here, and to all of you out there, happy Friday. Happy Friday the 13th. Now, a lot of people are freaked out by Friday the 13th, but I've always found them to be really good days. I just generally have good days on Friday the 13th, or normal days. But Don, how about you?
Mine's always been mostly average.
Average,
you know?
okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. And they say, are you Friday the 13th okay for you?
Well, Friday the 13th does bring a tear to my eye.
Yeah, of course.
Only because it makes me think of the captain and our incredible Freaky Friday 13th long haul mashup of the Freaky Paranormal Friday Portal 5-hour event.
Yeah, I missed that too. And I was listening to Kev earlier today on one of his old shows, and it's a tearjerker, but of course we dedicate this show to the memory of Kev Baker, our wonderful, amazing friend. And we know that he's here with us as we dive into the woo. You know, Kev wouldn't miss that. But before I go any further, I just want to say a special thank you to the Paranormal Portal sponsor, and that is, of course, Cryptid Coin, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to invest in the cryptid community, there's no better place than Cryptid Coin. It's a new cryptocurrency. I always have to be careful because I'm saying crypto. It's a new cryptocurrency that has its heart in cryptid investigation and research. And it's now available on PancakeSwap as well, ladies and gentlemen. So should make getting involved even easier. But if you have more questions or looking for more information about Cryptid Coin, then head over to cryptidcoin.io. Again, that is cryptidcoin.io. And hopefully you can get all your questions answered over there. But special thank you to Cryptid Coin for sponsoring the Paranormal Portal. Mm-hmm. So, how about we dive into I guess we got a call here. So we better get to the horn here and find out just who's calling in.
Yeah.
Someone called in right off the bat, and they say, "Can you believe that?"
In today's world, I'll believe anything.
All right, let's see who's on the phone here. We don't want to leave him hanging. So it's area code 904. You're on the air. Hello?
It's Terrence, and I'm trying to make sure we have a disconnection first.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Give me just a second. I'm going to try and improve the quality of the call.
Oh, there
How
you
is
go.
that?
Yeah.
There, that's much better. Yeah. Who are we talking to?
This is Terrence, and I have got a freaking horror story for you.
Oof, we'd love to hear it, Terrence. Thank you for calling in. Please just keep it clean. Don't swear. There's a lot of age groups listening to the show. So
I'm so sorry about last time.
that's okay.
I promise you won't have to put me on a delay this time.
All right.
Okay. Should I give the location of the house?
It's fine
In
if you'd
case
like
anybody wants to.
Just
All right. I moved into this place, 1002 Lakeview Road,
okay.
Ozark, Alabama.
Wow. Uh-huh.
later I heard somebody shot themselves in that bedroom I was in.
Wow.
A Vietnam vet. There was a repair and everything.
Oh.
So I'm not really a believer till it I'm an open-minded person, but when stuff happened to me, it changed my attitude.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah. So what happened?
At first, it was just like small stuff.
Okay.
Like the most aggravating thing. This is going to sound stupid, but my remote stopped working on my TV for the on and off, so I had to turn it on and off manually.
Okay.
And no matter what, I couldn't fool this thing. It would shut off as soon as my butt hit the couch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Now, why I found that more aggravating than 100 flies in the middle of winter appearing out of nowhere, smells, the sound of boots on wood in the carpeted section. It gradually got worse.
Oh, wow.
Right. I would wake up and all the cabinets in the kitchen would be open and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would listen to those dang boots.
Yeah.
And finally one day, I'm walking to the bathroom, and I watch the doorknob turn and the door close.
Oof.
Now, my two cats, which passed in the house, Tiger Woods and Eartha Kitt, a sister and a brother, R.I.P.,
Yeah.
had dug up the carpet trying to get out of that room.
Wow.
And so you had to physically really put some force into making the door latch.
Okay.
And that was the first time where there was something I saw that just kind of made my brain short circuit,
Oh, man.
for a moment.
What did you see?
And then I had the doorknob turn,
Yeah.
and that door that you had to physically shut.
Yeah, that's
The
very
last,
profound.
it's just, I mean, it changes you when you see it. I don't know why. I mean, hearing it and seeing all the other evidence and all the other stuff that was aggravating, for some reason that kind of clicked with me.
Right. Yeah.
Finally, I was choked out. Now, listen, I was 7 years clean and sober at this point.
Okay.
Okay, so there was nothing else going on with me. And I'm sleeping one night, and I start to get choked out. Not like a full adult choke. I mean, I'm having trouble breathing, and it's I'd say maybe an 8-year-old boy strength.
Wow.
And the computer was on, and it had this little flashing green light. And so, of course, I'm mortified, terrified, petrified, freaking out. I sit up, I get unchoked, and even reliving it, I don't even like it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see are hands, and they're kind of misty, and it turns into a ball of mist and goes through the freaking wall. Now, before this, I moved in a girlfriend, and I'm not saying I don't know. She was psychic. The first day she's in there, I come back from work, and she's moved us out of that room. And she says there's something coming in the room. the closet, which was the attic access. There was probably another 1,000 incidences, that just kind of piled up, things that you hear, things that you see, and especially that TV. That was the most aggravating thing ever.
Yeah, because it's like taunting you. It's like taunting you, right? Every time you sit down, boom, it goes off.
It had to. I mean, I would pretend like I was going to sit, and I'd almost sit, and I'd get up, and it. How why that didn't bother me? Well, that aggravated me.
Sure.
But it didn't scare me.
Yeah.
But when I saw that door, that really unnerved me.
Yeah, that changes things. When you witness them changing your surroundings, that's definitely a frightening experience for sure.
Yeah, I'm so glad. And if anybody's in a haunted house, move out.
Yeah.
I tried stage. I tried doing things I saw on YouTube. Nothing helped.
Yeah. It's a tough thing. I mean, there are of course people that can help and that do this kind of stuff regularly. But you're right. As a person trying it, it's something that if you don't do it right or you don't have the right frame of mind, it's probably not going to be real effective. And that's tough. It's tough for people to get to that place when you're already dealing with being unnerved.
It seemed to piss it off.
Yeah, that's when you got something dark for sure. But you did move, right? You're not there any longer.
Oh my God, yes. Okay. And I wouldn't go within 10 miles of that place if you paid me today. Sure. I wouldn't get near it. I don't want no part of it.
Yeah.
I had some idiot on Reddit that said he wanted to move there. I'm thinking, no, you do not.
No.
You think you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But you really don't.
Right. It's one of those be careful what you wish for things, because once it happens, you get to deal with it. So, man, I'm really glad you got out of there, and I'm glad you're okay. And nothing seemed to follow you then, huh?
Thank you. No. Okay. I've had a couple little. I think I've become more attuned.
Sure.
And when I found another house, I really wanted to make sure I felt comfortable in it and all of that. And those are things I never would have considered before.
Well, good. But if you ever have trouble, let me know. Write me an email. I can put you in touch with people that do help do that at no charge, and they're happy to help. So, just let me know.
I feel sorry for who's ever in that godforsaken house. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like it much either, but I'm glad you made it out, brother. And thank you so much for calling in and sharing your story.
You bet.
All right. Have a great night.
Haunted houses are real.
They are. Yep. Amen, brother. All right. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
That's pretty intense. That's a pretty intense way to start. I love when you guys call in. Yeah, I love hearing your experiences firsthand. What do you think of that, Nacy?
Well, the only thing that I could sing about that footwear is these boots were made for haunting. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
If you don't watch out, I'm going to walk all over. Boo!
Oh no, you went full cheese on that deal.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Leave it to Nacy.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, folks, we got about 11 minutes until the break, but let me shake over and we'll do a few news stories. How's that sound?
Yay!
Let's do a few news stories and then we'll hit to the break. Go ahead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Paranormal Portal News Desk, and I am joined, of course, by my co-host and co-anchor, Mr. Don Longbeard, and our special guest anchor, Mr. Nacy, as we dive into the Paranormal Portal News. And hope I've got some good ones for you. I got to look through what we got here because we have a little bit of less time to go through these. There's a few of them here that I thought were really interesting. Okay, here's one. Here's one that has to do with Bigfoot, folks.
Oh, no way.
It does. It really does. But it sounds like an interesting one. But let's check it out. And this comes from unexplained-mysteries.com, folks. Check them out. Great site. And they got a longer article that we're going to touch base on later or tomorrow night. I'm not sure where we'll get with it, but this article is bizarre Bigfoot trap is still being maintained after 48 years.
Huh.
I think it's probably safe to say it doesn't work.
Well, it was obviously, apparently, this is a mountain
monsters
kind of thing, It must have been the genesis of that whole thing.
No, mountain monsters would have like a huge mouse trap with a huge spring on it. All right, let's see what it says. It says, nestled deep in the woods of Jackson County, Oregon, there can be found a trap which was built to capture a live Bigfoot. Wonder what they bait it with. But it's not working. If it's been there for 48 years, it's not working.
Maybe they haven't baited it yet in a while.
Oh, yeah, they're like, oh, bait. Wow, I knew we were forgetting
Something we forgot.
Situated in the Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest, around 3.1 miles from the border with California, the trap, which is often hailed as the only one of its kind, was built in 1974 by the now defunct North American Wildlife Research Team, or NAWRT, in a bid to capture the elusive hominid. Measuring 10 feet by 10 feet, the trap consists of a wooden box with a metal door capable of automatically closing should anything happen to wander inside. For its first 6 years, researchers baited the trap with carcasses. However, they only ever caught bears.
See, it was a bear.
Yeah, exactly. I knew they saw a bear. When it was later abandoned in the early 80s, the door was bolted open to prevent any curious visitors from becoming trapped inside.
Dang it.
While in the years that followed, the trap had started to fall into disrepair, in 2006, the U.S. Forest Service began to actively repair and maintain it, thus turning it into something of a visitor attraction.
Nice.
Well, at least someone's visiting the thing. Obviously, Bigfoot's not. But even to this day, it remains a popular destination for hikers on the Collings Mountain hiking trail. Whether a Bigfoot has ever even been tempted to check it out, however, remains a mystery. I don't think they're quite that stupid. Wow, what's this little shed with the metal door doing out here? I think they probably got that one sorted out, folks.
Yeah, they probably assume that Bigfoot has no intelligence, and so it just has a really simple latch on it. And so
Yes.
he just opens the door and says, "Oops, shouldn't have stepped into that."
Yeah, they're in there. They're in there putting down the Acme glue.
It's like a giant glue car. Yeah.
I'm just saying they might as well work with that because obviously this deal isn't working. Except it apparently is really effective at catching bear. But yeah, that's the first article of news for the night. Let's see what else I've curated for our pleasure. Here's another Bigfoot one. Let's get into this one. Got a couple Bigfoot ones tonight, Don. The next one is also from unexplained-mysteries.com. Canadian farmer recalls terrifying Bigfoot encounter. And this was from my birthday, actually, May 1st.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I missed your birthday. Happy birthday, buddy.
It's too late.
Yeah, I know. You got me like
You
15
missed
days
it.
ago.
No, it's fine. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
I called.
You did. Thank you, Nace. I appreciate that.
Don.
Yeah.
All right, there's the Bigfoot encounter. The creature, which was spotted at a horse farm in Manitoba, prompted an armed response from the locals. There are few cryptozoological mysteries as enduring and widespread as Bigfoot, a mysterious hairy hominid that many people believe roams the wilds and woodlands of rural North America. Well, in the world, but anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Small footnote I wanted to add there. The one woman believed that she had encountered one of these beasts firsthand is Jacqueline Lang, an ex-farmer who at the time of the sighting in 1981 had been working at a horse farm in Manitoba, Canada. One winter night while she was going out to the oat shed, she heard what she described as a sudden wham sound against the wall, which frightened the daylights out of her. I then heard shuffling next to me in the shadows behind the shed, she said. I backed up until I could see a head and shoulders taller than the line of the shed. It looked one way, then the other, and turned back and staring at me. The creature growled at her in a low, rumbling, menacing sort of way, which prompted her to quickly bolt from the barn and seek assistance from the other farmhands. We both ran back with pitchforks, and it was still there. It again looked one way, then the other, and came back looking at us and growled again, she said. We were screaming at it, and it leaned and jumped into the paddock and ran off. Later that night, they were awoken by the police, who told them that their horses had escaped. It turned out that the animals had been so fearful that they had taken out an entire fence while trying to flee. There was also a report from the local newspaper about a policeman who had witnessed a tall, hairy thing leaping over a 10-foot fence. Man, leaping over it? Seriously. Wow. This encounter is almost 40 years ago, and I still remember it like it was yesterday, said Lang.
Well, you know what the problem was is they got the pitchforks, but not the torches.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they missed that part.
Yeah,
the torches are the really sell it, I think. That really sells the whole experience. That's got to be frightening. But again, an oat shed is probably a good place to find one. You know, might want to talk to those trap people in the other story. We could work something out. Just put oats in there. They love them. There's many times we've heard stories and reports of people saying that, God, their horse feed was going down so low, you know, and they couldn't believe it was just disappearing like that. And then they started finding tracks and stuff, and lo and behold, they believe that Bigfoot loves a good bowl of grain every once in a while, apparently.
Granola.
Granola.
He is from the Pacific Northwest, right? Granola.
Got to move some stools, I guess.
I guess so.
Need that roughage, Naysay. Naysay. Did we lose him?
Oh, where'd he go?
Nope, I'm an amateur again on the mute button. I apologize. Yeah, you know,
it's okay.
a good bowl of oats and bran in the morning helps someone be regular.
Yep.
All kinds of nutty goodness in there, I'm betting. That's as much as I want to say about that. But interesting. Let me look at the time. 3 minutes. I don't think I got another story in me in 3 minutes. So
well, you know,
this is going to be an abbreviated newscast, folks. So let's get back to the regularly scheduled program.
Let's go.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading to break in a few minutes here, but Naysay, what do you think?
Oh, geez. At this moment or throughout the last 24 hours?
Naysay, fill in the last 3 minutes.
One of the questions I do have, Brent, since, you know, it's been such a minute, as they say nowadays, since we've been together, how can people find you throughout the interweb?
By coming here, of course. Tune into our YouTube channel, of course. That's one way.
We don't have a Bigfoot print. We don't have Bigfoot print.
We don't have it. We're getting a bigger footprint, but yeah, we also have the podcast. But thank you for asking. And the podcast can be found on all the major platforms, ladies and gentlemen, from iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Google Play, Stitcher, Castbox, and a gajillion other ones. So we're out there, man. You can find us. Just look for.
And don't you have some swag too?
We do. Naysay's always working it. I love it. Yeah, we do. If you go to teespring.com/stores/paranormal-portal, you'll find it. The link is in the show description on YouTube if you want to check it out. It will be, actually, for those of you on YouTube, it will be in a shelf underneath the video, but we've got some logistics to figure out on that. Remind me to talk to you about that after the show, because that brings it back to my head. Otherwise, I'll forget it again. But yeah, there's lots of ways to support the show, and we appreciate every one of them. One of the greatest ways is just being here and hit the like and letting people know about the show. That's a big thing, and sharing the show if you like what you're seeing and experiencing here on the portal. So that's for sure.
Wonderful. And hopefully everybody will find good fortune as the break comes and hits us, and we'll have good luck and find ourselves together again after the break.
Yeah, please.
Well, I hope so.
Please don't leave. Don't leave us.
I don't plan to wander away right now.
Yeah, we got a bunch more stuff to get into on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. We got a bunch more really cool stories that I want to dive into, and I'm looking forward to hearing Naysay's take on these as well, because it's our chance to grill Naysay now that he managed to grill me for the last 3 minutes of this segment. But I love you, brother.
Yes, I will confirm I am full of wisdom.
Oh, I'll give you a rim shot. That earned a rim shot. I'll give it to you. It was a reluctant rim shot, but I'll give it to you. But yeah, we're going to go to break, ladies and gentlemen, here in just a couple minutes, or just in a few seconds. So make sure to stay tuned. These breaks are only temporary. They're only a couple minutes long. And use the loo, grab a refreshment, come back, and we'll meet you right back here on the other side. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the second half hour of the show already.
Second half hour.
It's gone so godly fast.
Workling.
I can't believe how fast it goes. But it goes quickly, and so if you blink, you might miss it. But right now, we're going to do some shout-outs, and over in TFR is Gemini and Bam are over there. But who's in the YouTubes?
Who's in the YouTubes? There's Aggravated Progressive, Bernays Sauce. Brooks is there. Hi, Brooks. Hey, look, there's Ms. Deb Varner. Nice to see you, Deb. I got Drake, Dream, Ethan Seal from Texas. Gemini Moon is over here as well as in TFR. We've got Heather K. Just here and there, 66. Hi, Karen. How are you? Nice to see you. Maggie M10, Matthew Learned. Ruger's here. Ruthie's here. Hi, Ruthie. Sugar Britches. And Miss Tracy Gale. Let's see. Did I miss somebody? Did I say Brooks? Oh, there's Naysay. He finally popped back in. And so there you go. Dreams here. Ghost Magnet. Hey, did you get those out?
I'm getting them out.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
They're going to be going out in the mail very shortly.
Sweet. So that's all I see.
I farmed all the addresses out of the out of the inbox.
Right.
I had to go through all the backlog and find out where they were again.
Oh, there's Android too. Android's here.
Android here. The show must commence. Just here and now. Just here and now. Here and here.
Just
Okay.
here and there.
Here and there.
60.
Sorry. It's a small font. I can't be held responsible, huh?
Hey, your glasses.
And of course, joining us, not only is it Don and I, but joining us is our good friend, Mr. Naysay, who has been a long time friend of the portal.
Oh, Justin just popped in too.
Oh, nice. Good to see you, brother.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Hi.
We would never miss you. We do miss you all the time, of course. We've met Justin before. He's a great guy. Met him at a couple of conferences, didn't we?
Yeah,
Don?
he's been around. Yeah, he's been with us a couple times.
He and his family. It was great. Great thing. And speaking of conferences, folks, I do want to make this announcement real quick because we are going to be going to a conference ourselves, and we're going to be going there this September from the 8th to the 11th. Mm-hmm. We are heading to, and I'm going to put it up on screen. Let me get it into position.
Oh, crap. The 8th to the 11th?
That's the ones.
Oops, I think I might need to adjust my times.
We're going to be going to Phenomicon, ladies and gentlemen.
It'll
and
be phenomenal.
It's going to be phenomenal. But we are going to be there from the September 8th through the 11th of this year in Vernal, Utah. So put it on your calendars if you can make it. It'd be great to meet you guys. Any of you that can make it, we'd love to hang out with you. And we're going to have a booth. We're going to be farming a booth there. And hopefully meeting a bunch of people, but we'd love to meet you guys as well. So why go to Phenomicon, you might ask? Well, look at this laundry list of people.
Oh, my goodness.
There are so many amazing speakers going to be presenting and taking part in this, as well as Don and myself, which is always a draw, right?
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
Draw, for sure.
But it'll be a great opportunity to meet Bob Gimlin, which to me is going to be wonderful because Don and I met Bob at a couple of conferences as well, and just a phenomenal guy. We had the real honor of sitting down and recording a podcast with Bob and hearing his story from his own mouth. And we also talked about some other things that were not having to do with Patty. So if you haven't heard that episode, check out our podcast, which we talked about earlier, being on all the major platforms. But you can meet Russ Accord. You can meet Adam Davies. Dr. Jeff Meldrum will be there. James Vieira of the Giants series on the History Channel will be there. Stacy Brown is going to be there. It was his dad that took some of the most compelling thermal footage that exists of a Bigfoot going between two trees. And there's so many great, amazing talents. Not only is Russ Accord going to be there, but also two of his compatriots from the Expedition Bigfoot, Ronnie LeBlanc, is going to be there, as well as Dr. Maria Mayer. So there's just so many incredible talents and wonderful people to go check out and see. Again, this is in September, so put it on your calendar if you can make it. Fantastic. I know there's a lot of other people that are going to be there that haven't been formally announced, but this is the one event this year that I know of that if you're into the paranormal, if you're into the supernatural and the odd and weird and wonderful, then this is where you want to be. That's
the place.
Head to Phenomicon September 8th through the 11th in Vernal, Utah, and you can go to phenomicon.net and get more information. Again,
right.
phenomicon.net.
Phenomenal.
we're gonna be heading there. But
It's our only scheduled appearance this year, though.
so far,
There you go.
I
Well,
mean,
so far, yeah. I mean,
I
things pop up.
when I was in Tennessee, I was talking to Tony, and he's like, "Hey, there's a Smoky Mountain Bigfoot conference going on, and it was on I talked to him on a Friday, and he said you should come down, and it would have been like a couple-hour drive, but unfortunately my trip there was so quick, and I didn't have a lot of time. I couldn't just adjust on the fly, but I just found out about it. It's like, oh my God, I could have been there, but wasn't able to be, but that would have been a lot of fun as well. So
Something like a phenomenon.
yeah, it's going to be a phenomenon. It'll be phenomenal for sure. So we do have some strange and wonderful things I want to cover here as far as some paranormal goodness that we've all grown to love. And this is one of them, but there's a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to talk about this, and I'm going to put a link in TFR for Bam because he won't be able to see this copy. This is something that just came up, folks, and what this is from a Mars rover, and this picture is actually from NASA. This is on the site sciencealert.com is where I'm getting this story from. But they say spooky discovery on Mars looks just like an alien doorway. Now, for naysay, let me explain to you what I'm looking at, brother. It looks like the mountain is carved, like an opening is carved into this hillside, this rocky hillside, and it's cut off at like an angle, but it goes right in at an absolutely correct straight angle to what looks like a cement door frame inside of that, and then goes into the hill. And I mean, it's as significant a justification for there being something that wasn't natural there that I've ever seen. There's lots of questionable pictures that have come from the Mars rovers and stuff, but I have no idea how they're going to explain this one away, because this really looks like it's an opening to an underground layer of some kind. Like not even having to stretch your imagination. It looks like it was cut into this rock face. At absolute doorway. I mean, there's no mistaking that. Wouldn't you agree, Don?
I would. Yeah, it's definitely a portal of some type.
Yeah, we love portals here. So let's read what it says. And it says spooky discovery on Mars looks just like an alien doorway. One of the most recent snaps beamed back from the Curiosity rover on Mars has revealed a rather interesting feature in the rocks that looks to be a perfectly carved out doorway nestled in the Martian landscape. The doorway doppelganger is so eerily convincing that we're almost tempted to start believing that it leads to a little hideaway for Martians, or perhaps a portal to another universe entirely. We're also getting tunnel to the center of the planet vibes from this. Well, I don't know. At the very least, the picture of and the geological feature it's captured would seem to be enough to inspire a science fiction movie or two. I just can't tell you how amazing this looks. It's just a door. It literally is a door. However, the far more sensible people of Reddit have pointed out this is likely being a shear fracture, the result of some kind of strain on the rock breaking part of it off, perhaps given a helping hand by a Mars quake or two. I don't believe that for a minute.
No.
That doesn't.
Unless it shook it open.
They managed to create a shear in that rock face that was absolutely flat to the surface outside as well. So that's if this is just a geological function, how in the hell would it be right at ground level?
Right.
I mean, it's at ground level. Like you could walk without even taking a step up into this door frame. So how did this rock shear off at an absolute 0-degree angle? I have no idea. Or, even at a slight incline that matches the entry into the mountain.
Right.
I don't buy that at all. What's more, while the door-like rock formation may appear to be full-sized in our imaginations, it's possible the cavity is seen as only a few centimeters or inches tall in real life, though it's difficult to be certain from the picture. You can see a bigger colorized version of the original picture here. Let's take a look at that, just to see what that looks like. What the hell? Where am I going to find this? I don't know what I'm looking for here. This is This is not as easy as it looks, I guess.
Well, one thing that I immediately think of when you bring up Mars and the phenomenons that are there, I think of Richard Hoagland and his Cydonia lecture
Okay.
and the face on Mars, because that in itself are remarkable structures
Sure.
of different sizes and design. So I would make the assumption that this is part of the big reveal where the powers that should not be have finally said, hey, general public can finally handle the existence of extraterrestrials. And hopefully they're going to just be like, here, ta-da. And they're going to land on the front lawn of the Capitol, and a big metal giant robot's going to come out, and it's the day the Earth stood still.
There you go.
Wouldn't it just
There
be
it is.
better? Wouldn't it just be better if the stupid thing just landed on the White House instead of the lawn?
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yep. I found it. There it is, folks. It's off on the picture. It's actually up on the hillside quite
It's
a
up
bit.
on the hillside, but still,
So
it's with the incline of the hill itself.
right.
So
I mean, if that is a shear fracture, I'm absolutely I'm gobsmacked. Yeah, that's the word that I wanted to use.
John Jones.
What?
Ethan Seal says it's John Jones. John Jones was a character in the Supergirl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, whatever it is, it certainly it doesn't even match anything else that's going on here. It doesn't like all of this other rock face around it in quite an area. This is an absolute 90-degree opening. Literally a rectangle.
Right.
And I don't see any other rectangles in the rest of these rock faces. There are some flat shears, like where the rock is apparently sheared in what would appear to be flat angles, but how the hell did that rectangle just pop out? Like it had to have popped out of the mountain.
Well, there's
And where's the pieces?
there's no straight lines in nature.
Well, there are, but
Not really.
this is absolutely geometrically a rectangle. So it doesn't match anything else in the frame. I don't know. I mean, of course I'm not there, but it's the most compelling argument for there having been a civilization at least on Mars in the distant past. Now I can't say.
And please be a golden rectangle also on top of it.
No, well, I don't know. The rock's kind of tan colored, but
Well, no, the dimension is
Oh.
a sacred geometry
well,
where
it looks like your typical rectangle shape, standing absolutely like a door frame. I don't know how else to explain it, but it is amazing. I'm seriously, folks, I'm at a loss to explain this in any naturally occurring geological terms, because if there were other fractures on here that kind of match that, it'd be like, well, maybe they got something then. But as I look around the surrounding landscape, there is nothing that is so geometrically precise as that. I don't get it. But
well, if you zoom in, and you can notice there on the right side of the portal, it says no soliciting.
yeah, and who put that mailbox there? Yeah, exactly. No, it's. I mean, it may very well go in at an angle and kind of come to a cone inside. Either way, I don't know, but it's. I mean, it looks like two different types of material as well. Like the rock face is cut off at a perfect edge up to what looks like an encased concrete door frame behind it. And I don't know what we're looking at here, but that is absolutely profound. So let me keep reading it here. It says the image was taken at a geological feature known as Greenhoo pediments by the mast camera on board a Curiosity on May 7th, 2022. In the years that we've had access to close-ups of Mars from landers and orbiters, we've been treated to some truly weird and wonderful snapshots of the red planet, craters filled with ice, strange chevron-shaped rock formations, hollowed-out mountains, and plenty more. In terms of spooky discoveries in space that appear to resemble alien structures, it's important that we don't get too carried away with what grainy images can sometimes suggest. You may remember the strange cube-shaped object spotted on the moon by China's U2, it's actually U2 rover. Last year, after further investigation, it turns out the alien hut was simply another rock with tricks of light in the perspective of giving it its cuboid shape. But no, this is so much more than that. I mean,
that's
you can't really equate it to, hey, there was a cube-shaped rock on the moon,
right.
and so this might not be real. This is something different. Now, I agree. We don't know the scale of this, but maybe Martians are little. I mean, maybe they're the size of small children that you might.
Marvin the Martian.
Yeah.
There's truth to the little green man.
Yeah, possibly.
There might be. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to share that with you here on the show. I don't buy into the given argument, but I can't refute it necessarily. But in looking at this other image where you have a landscape shot of all of the surrounding rock within, I don't know, I can't even imagine to guess how big this is, this shots that are compiled, but there's nothing that closely resembles that opening at all. It's just all the way out on its own. There's no other openings or fractures that seem so geometrically precise. So that one's it's stumping. It's stumping me. I can't claim to know what it is, but I'm not buying that what it is, what they're saying it is. So there you have it, folks. I wanted to show that to you, and we have shown you.
That is cool.
That is pretty cool. All right. So think of it what you will. It's never been my perspective to try to sway anybody's opinion. If you have a much more educated and knowledgeable opinion than mine, then, by all means. I don't pretend to be right about anything. I can just tell you.
Experts.
I can just tell you what I think. I don't think that's just a rock shear at a precise rectangle shape. But that's
the thing that also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What?
The thing that it makes me ponder is that all of these images that are released to the general public, they're reviewed.
Right.
Yeah.
That they have people that review it. So, so for some reason, somebody saw this and said, yeah, let the general public know this, which is not a regular occurrence when it comes to, these strange phenomenon beyond our realm or of the earth.
Agreed, sir. I agree completely.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to shift gears and get into some more paranormal goodness. And this is from an article we've been working through. It's from a site called Money Awaits. And again, this is an aggregate article from Reddit threads where they aggregate and place ads all over it. But thanks to the Brave browser, we can check it out on the show without flooding you with a bunch of advertisements.
Thank goodness.
So, I got to reach my other water. There we go. Other water is here, and we're going to get into this. And this article is cops from around the world share cases that made them think that something supernatural was happening. So we're on number 24, where we left off last time. And this is number 24, ladies and gentlemen. Omen in a yellow dress. ICU nurse here. We had a patient that was dying. No family around 3 a.m., the guy started crying and asking why the little girl in the yellow dress was in the hospital. We assured him there was no little girl, and he cries even more, saying, "Yes, there is. She's at the foot of the bed. Kid you not." The man passed in the next few minutes. I and my pod partner blamed the hallucination on the meds we were giving him to keep him comfortable. Next night, new patient in the room. She's completely alert and oriented. At about 3 a.m., she hits her call lights. She wants to know why the little girl in the yellow dress was outside her room. We told her it was just her imagination from being in a strange place. But not 5 minutes later, the guy in the next room goes into full cardiac arrest. And unfortunately, we can't revive him. It says we can't receive him, but they mean revive him. Of course, we absolutely freak. 2 different nights, 2 different patients see the same thing, all followed by death. That was by Jay Bislern. That's creepy. That's weird. Now, obviously, I think it. I don't know if there is a quote unquote angel of death kind of thing. Maybe there is. Maybe
they're a good band.
Yeah. What? They're a good band.
They're a good band.
But perhaps maybe these spirits that escort people into the next life. I think that perhaps we're greeted sometimes by loved ones, but if you don't have loved ones, maybe someone else steps in. I don't know how this works exactly, but maybe that little yellow dressed girl is just one of those spirits.
Hey, Naysay, how does that work in your traditions?
Well, we discuss as Anishinaabe, we discuss that because of genetic memory and because of the connection that we have in our genetic composition to our ancestors, that we can literally, through ritual and ceremony, talk to our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard many times of how some elders, when they're at that time of passing, that they will make these claims or talk to individuals that aren't there.
Oh.
And I've heard this, regularly. A lot of people will talk about when a loved one passes that they'll say that they see another loved one. So
Yeah.
the numbers of people that report such a things, you can't deny it, even if like 5% of it is accurate.
Right.
But I personally have had, I would say a dream, a vision.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I think the buzzword is download, where I've literally had elders and they would talk to me.
Oh, neat.
And it would be frustrating because I'm not fluent in the language.
Oh. So they're actually speaking the Anishinaabe language.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And there was one time when I was tilted back sleeping in my chair and I felt like a pressure on my shoulder, and I was sleeping and I was kind of crabby, something's bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, Gawin Majan, and that's like, no, go. And the minute I said that, all of a sudden it was like I upset an elder or something. And he came back like, oh, you want to talk the language? And then just, like when grandma yells at you, it felt like that.
Oh, no.
That this elder just put me in my place saying, hey, I'm here to tell you something now. You just listen.
Listen up, youngin'.
Yeah, awesome.
Right.
That's
cool.
awesome, though.
That's really cool. Wow. Yeah, that's very powerful, especially, and what lends it so much credibility is not only having the experience, but to be hearing these words that you don't really know.
Right.
That to me just speaks volumes about the phenomena is very real. Because maybe you've heard things, and some people may argue, "Oh, that's just subconscious, projections."
Right.
But I don't think so. It would just, if only you could record those and then have them translated, that'd be neat.
Right.
But very cool.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one, and this is number 23, Stubborn Lights. I was dispatched at around 3 a.m. to attend to a house where the caller was concerned that someone had broken into the basement and was still inside. The caller was a very old lady, and she lived alone. As far as she could tell, she woke up and noticed that the basement lights were on, and she hadn't been downstairs in years. Ooh. My partner and I get to the call, and the lady is standing at the front door with her walker anxiously waiting for us to come inside. My partner and I go into the basement, and you can tell that no one had been down there for a while because as I walked, I kept hitting cobwebs that were dangling from the ceiling. Anyway, everything appeared to be in order, and eventually I found the light switch further into the basement and turned it off, and we shut the basement door behind us, and we clear the main floor too, since she was so adamant that she heard rustling and coughing in the basement. The basement was relatively empty, and I assure you no one was down there. As we're about to leave, she asked if we turned the light off, and I said yes, and opened the door to show her, but the light was back on. When I did, I kept my composure and asked her if I could turn the lights off or on from upstairs as well. Negative. My partner and I exchanged looks, and I went back down to turn the lights off again and just to get out of there. We met up after the call and dug a little bit into the history of the house, and it turned out that a year ago on that day we attended to help paramedics because her husband had fallen down those stairs. Wow. That was by Deaf and Not a Cop. Deaf and Not a Cop. That's creepy. Yeah, I suppose maybe it was something with anniversaries. Maybe there is something with those anniversary imprints. So would that be... Well, I don't know. We'll dig into it on the other side, folks. We're going to go to the break. Don't go away. There's lots more of the portal coming in just a couple minutes. We'll be right back.
Play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me, and their lies keep falling apart. With my silence, I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity, just make sure that you're well fed.
she's with, they're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force, it is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're into hour number 2 here on the Paranormal Portal, and as you can tell, the time is kind of an anomaly here on the show.
Yeah,
It is a time anomaly, right, Don?
it is.
And ladies and gentlemen, not only is our good friend and co-host and big toe Don Longbeard here with us, but we are joined also by our good friend Mr. Naysay, who has been, he's been involved with the show since the day I started, I think, or very soon after. Weren't you, Naysay?
I think I was there on your first show
At the maiden voyage.
I think I called in like on your third or fourth show.
Yeah, you've been a part of the show for almost as long as I have. But it's been
if I may digress and
Sure.
give a little reveal about Brent when he first came on. He was a little nervous Nelly when he came out. And I remember he would gather all of this information, but he was so excited about the show, he would read it really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And when he would think that he had enough information for the show, all of a sudden you could kind of tell that he was like, oh no, I just read everything already.
Yeah.
And then that's when I would jump on the phone and call in and be like, hello, brother, how's it going?
Yeah, I thought I knew what I was doing right off the bat, and I was wrong. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, Naysay, but at least now I know how to keep talking.
You breathe every now and then.
You hit the ground running, brother.
Oh, man, I panic read everything in the first 20 minutes. I had 3 hours of material, I thought, but I panic read it in about 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, no. Yeah, it was a tough start, but I guess that's, baptism by fire, they say. But it's been several years since then, and I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm still having fun doing it.
Is that 6 years now? 7?
2016 it started. Yeah. So it's 6 years, right?
April of 2016. Just past it.
It's been a hell of a run. And people are still coming to check it out. I can't believe it. But I'm just honored as can be. So and
I need to make a quick acknowledgement to your chat room on YouTube.
Sure.
They are always very pleasant and wonderful delight to have the opportunity to share words with them. So thank you for the love and the positivity. I'll use it to produce some dopamine.
Sure, there's something else in that mix as well, but we'll just leave it at that.
Oh, that's wonderful. We do have just as good a chat community as anybody could ask for. These are amazing people. You guys are all amazing out there, and they've always been, you guys out there have always been the other co-host of the show. I mean, you guys are a big part of everything that we've done over the years, and so thank you for all of the love and support we continue to get from all of you out there.
Karen, did you buy another hoodie and long sleeve shirts, or are you just saying you bought them? Because I know you had. Oh, by the way, I just put out a 15% discount code on the YouTube. So yeah, if anybody in the chat room in TFR wants it, it's Our Friends, and you'll get 15% off any merch in our store at Teespring. So Our Friends, OURFR, I-E-N-D, our friends with an S.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Is that all one word?
All one word.
Small case?
I don't think it matters, but it's all uppercase in my.
It's all uppercase.
Everything's big in my world.
Jesus. All right, moving along. Moving on to some other paranormal news. Let's go to the next one on this article we're working through on money weights. This one is, we're on number 22 now, and this one is a spinning hanger. I don't even know what that means, but let's find out. Number 22. This was a couple years ago while I was still worked a general patrol car. We got a call for a sudden. I don't like that damn static. It's like. Pff, pff, pff. All right. So this is a couple years ago while I still worked a general patrol car. I got a call for a sudden death. Sad call. Foster parent found their foster child hanging in a closet. Oh, dear God. We arrived on the scene, found the foster parent sobbing on the main floor, told us the kid was upstairs. Paramedics had already come and gone, pronounced the youth deceased, likely from the night before. Foster parent had cut them down and called 911, and thus the body was slumped on the floor. We conducted an investigation to ensure nothing was suspicious, which included a visual inspection of the scene, questioning of anyone in the house at the time, contacting the medical examiner, etc., and here's where it gets screwy for me. As I'm in the room alone with the deceased, all of a sudden I hear a loud clanging coming from the closet. There's something eerie about being alone in a room with a dead body. It was always in the back of my mind, and when this sound happened, I almost pooped myself. I turn and look to the closet and see a single hanger spinning round and round the closet rod, almost as if someone manually tried to start a propeller on a plane. No one else in the room but me and the deceased. I pride myself on being able to stay composed in some pretty intense situations, though, through my career, but that one stuck with me to this day. I can't explain it, and I can't find a reasonable explanation as to how it would have happened. Yeah, no doubt. I got to clear that staticky sound, so just bear with me, folks. I got to get rid of that. That's driving me crazy. All right. And look at it, got all crystal clear. Let me reconnect that.
Well, it's amazing how that happens.
Isn't it? It's just so incredible. It kind of resets it. So, all right. There we go. Now we're reconnected. Okay. And it's much quieter.
Gosh.
So, victory. Victory is ours, Don.
There you go.
But what do you think of that one? The spinning coat hanger.
That would be creepy. Anytime having worked in a prison in the dead of night, not necessarily with dead people because we hope they're not hanging themselves. But just that, knowing that kind of quiet and that kind of eeriness with all these people around you, and you just know, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I can relate to that in a way, but except for the dead body part. So, yeah.
What do you think of that, Nacy?
First of all, my heart just breaks out when you talk about a child or a young adult, going to such an extreme on that, but sometimes I think when these tragedies happen, that visual energy or that essence of that individual or spirit still remains there.
Right.
Sure.
So for someone who experiences the abnormal, on a monthly basis, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And I think that when people start tuning themselves into these things, then they notice it more frequently.
Yeah.
And I would make the assumption that this individual is sensitive to such things, and that's why they went through the experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty tragic and sad, and I guess every time these stories come up, and they come up sometimes, folks, and all I can say is that, if there's anybody listening to the sound of my voice, if you're in a dark, sad, and lonely place, call, get help, reach out to somebody. If you don't have someone you love, call one of the suicide helplines. There's always somebody waiting to be there for you and help you through it. I've lost somebody from suicide in my life, and it still is devastating to this day. It's not a pain that ever goes away. And so if through the course of this show that I can help just one person change that course, then that to me is a real blessing. So just know, you just reach out, find somebody that'll listen, somebody that'll talk to you and help you through that. Generally speaking, our lives get hard, and then they sometimes get better and get easier, and then they may get hard again, but there's always a calm in there somewhere. Just hang on and work through it as best you can. But my heart goes out to anybody that has been dealt with that in their lives. It's just a horrible pain that always remains. So anyway, I just like to throw that out there because maybe somebody out there needs to hear that. I don't know. Call me. Reach out to me. I'll talk to you if you got nobody else.
I'll talk to you too.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to you because, one thing, and I digress in talking about me, but I being who I am, I'm blind and crippled up, confined to a wheelchair, and so I've seen some hardships.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I understand.
Sure.
So I have been fortunate to be able to find the positivity, and it's not easy. It's not easy to find positivity, especially when negativity is so prominent in one's experiences. But that sliver of light can always be found. And if you can't find it outside of your existence, I'm sure if you look deep enough within love, without fear, you can see that inner spark and then fan the flame, because your brilliance to me is magnificent.
Amen. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you, and I agree. So, all right, let's go to the next one. And this is number 21, Tiberius's room. It says, I worked as a forensic nurse in a lockup unit in the hospital once with state and county inmates. I had one older/crazy lady who swore she was being haunted and abused by a demon she would call Tiberius. So many crazy things happened whenever she was there. We'd go into the room to do normal care, leave, and seconds later, she'd start screaming bloody murder, and we'd run into the room to find her looking like she'd been in a fight with a boxing champ. Bloody lip, black eye, markings all over her body. No one ever saw her doing this stuff to herself. Things would get moved around the room by themselves. And at one point, she was in a protective restraints because the doc thought she was hurting herself. There was no way she could have moved or done anything to herself while in these restraints, but new marks would always appear, or her tray or cart would be across the room. The room was secure, so there was no way someone else was doing this. You'd ask her questions, and she'd just say it was Tiberius. After she was discharged, we always had trouble with that room. If there was going to be a rapid response or code, it happened in that room. One of the guards reported that the lights were going on and off in a room. It was that one. That was by Bow Ties Are Cool. Yeah, that's creepy. So that sounds like maybe she left something there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something that decided
something that came with her and decided she liked the crazy in the place.
It was a better place than wherever she was going back to. So that's really creepy. I think that can definitely happen. There's people that have attachments, and those attachments can choose to unattach if they find something else they want to do. I believe that. I can't say that that's a fact, but a story like that definitely demonstrates that she brought something with her and left it there, apparently.
So. Well, on churches, on the old style churches, on how they have the big vaulted doors.
Oh, sure.
One thing that I came across of one of the reasons why they do that is that when individuals would enter the church, because of the holiness of the church, that these, for semantics, demons aren't, essence of negativity. They're not allowed to go into the church. And so what they would do is they would cling to the doors. And so when people would go under the door, because of the height of the door was so high that these demons weren't able to latch on to people. Because I do believe that these negative entities that just like we have a fondness for a certain taste or smell or something like that, or desire, I believe that these entities have that same perception.
Yeah.
So, for an example, Don goes to a store or something, and because of Don's constant presence with you, Brent, that your essence will leave residue or permeate on Don.
Sure.
So if Don goes out and about, then if one of these deities get a whiff of that essence of yours or that smell or whatever, then they would attach themselves to Don, because the odds of you being with Don again are great. And so they would cling to one entity in the efforts of getting to another entity.
I like how he said that. Don is great. Let's make Don great again.
I tell you what, I believe there's merit to that, though. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That they may follow that, because we do leave imprints on each other, on our surroundings, on our environments, and on wherever we go. We oftentimes think we're just these meat suits, but we're constantly radiating energy out of us and into the the world around us, maybe even to the universe. But
scientifically detected energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can detect the essence or energy or the electromagnetic field that you emulate. There's a bunch of different type of photography that they do now, where it also, it can show your, some people call it an aura.
Right.
Sure.
I heard it say that your aura can not permeate, but the parameters of your aura can expel out to about 20 feet. And that to me would make kind of sense. Like, sometimes when you go to a party or a gathering and somebody walks into the room and they can either like instantly brighten up the room or just pull it down.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely those people. Yep. What did I miss?
I can imagine I can't imagine a worse hell than walking around with Don's stink on me, attracting evil spirits. Thanks, Wes.
Like Don needs, maybe if he showered a little more, it would help.
Talk about residue.
Take him out back and hose him off. He'll be fine.
That's residue.
That's funny.
Oh, Wes, leave it to Wes. Oh, God love you, buddy.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, we try to. I guess that's one of the things. Like so they say smudging and things like that. Does that also knock down cleansing a person's aura as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We as Anishinaabe, we use sage, we use cedar, we use sweetgrass, we use asema. One of the things that I do on a regular basis on all of the portals that can go outside, I hang cedar. Well, I don't do it. I have individuals come in and we hang cedar over all of the windows and the doors that go outside. Don't do this on your doors inside, because you could trap a spirit or essence in a room.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, that sucked.
Right?
Kind of did it backwards.
Yeah, we need to talk after the show, Nate. No, I think
also we do cleansing where we'll walk around. We'll walk around the house. Usually what I do is we'll do it. I don't do it. Again,
sure.
I have people come in and help me do it, but we'll go clockwise. First we'll go down the stairs, and then we'll go clockwise through the basement, and then we'll have bells and we'll have drums and rattles, and we'll get all the corners, because unfortunately in the style of the homes that we have, they're square.
Right.
And so energy doesn't flow well in a square room.
Yeah.
And so make sure when you do these cleansings that you get into the corners and and just kind of chase the essence, the energy, change it up, shift it around. You have that power and, utilize it. And then once we get through the entirety of the house, then we shut the windows and doors behind us. And more times than not, in my experience, when we do this, I always get knocking on the house.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I know that it's important wherever you start. You got to leave some place for them to go, like an open window, open door, as you cleanse and move through. But yeah, that's very powerful stuff. I think that those kind of traditions I think are really helpful.
Absolutely.
Because I think those mediums really do affect our our energy, not only ours but the energies around us. And I believe that homes can accumulate crap. They can just accumulate
Right.
a bad feeling and a lot of negative energy just because people live in them, and some people are pretty broken, and I think that not only do they trash a home, but they leave behind
Right, exactly.
quote unquote energetic stench.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So-
Because you bring something negative into your home, or something negative into your home, it disrupts that family.
Right.
It disrupts the house in general. So yeah.
Right. Not only that, but I think it attracts negative things. If you get a real dark energy around, that's going to draw in more of that. Like summons like, or whatever the saying is.
Right.
But-
Birds of a feather.
But yeah, there you go. 2 in the hand, 1 in the bush, something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing out colloquialisms because I don't know any. All right, let's get to the next one. Anyway, number 20, Invisible Jim. I'm a CMA. What's a CMA?
Certified something assistance.
Nursing assistant.
No, M as in Mickey, Mike.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay, it says I was working night shift at an Alzheimer's unit, and all of the residents were in and out of their lucidity. One lady seemed to be having hallucinations, which was pretty common for those residents. She insisted her husband was there, and she talked to him, scooted over so he could sit next to her, etc. She just generally acted like there was another person was there when there wasn't. Her husband Jim had been dead for a couple of years. She seemed happy, and there's no point arguing with someone with dementia anyway, so we left them to visit. After a while, she quiets down and says, "Jim left." Across the hall, the lady in that room turns on her call light. Her complaint? "This man won't get out of my room." Well, we don't see anything and ask, "What man? Who is it?" She turns to the nothingness beside her bed and says, "Who are you?" And then turns back to us and says, "His name is Jim." That's awesome. That was by Lowry Fish. Yeah. There you go. That darn Jim was trolling the home. He was.
Dang it, Jim! This is a nursing home, not a.
He's not. Never mind. I can't even say it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna end up getting in trouble. This is not a dating show. Jim, just go back to your wife. Let's go to one more. I can read this one.
Just here in there, 66 said certified medical assistant.
There we go.
They
Thank
can
you.
give out meds and CNAs can't.
Very good.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
yeah.
That's why I love you guys. I mean, you guys always fill in the blanks.
Right.
That's
And there's a
awesome.
lot of blank here.
Well, believe me, there's so many blanks in
Raspberry
my world.
says a certifiable monster aficionado.
Just create your own acronym.
There you go. Yeah, that works. Oh, we only got 2.5 minutes. You got this one down?
I think I
Let's
can
go.
get through this one. Doesn't happen if he doesn't talk about it. My dad used to work as a CO, corrections officer, at a rural prison. He drove perimeter, which just means made circles around a jail in a truck, checking empty buildings for runaway inmates, and just generally being bored for 8 hours every night.
I've done that.
Yeah, me too. I did a lot of that. One night, my dad was parked on a hill just reading a magazine when he starts to feel a thumping on his body.
Uh-huh.
He just
What kind of a magazine?
Jesus. Oh, no. I'm never going to make it through this now. He described it as the feeling you get when the speakers are playing a song with really heavy bass and you can feel the bass in your whole body. Anyway, he puts the magazine down, checks his rear view, and sees someone outside his truck. He grabs his pistol and jumps out of the truck, weapon drawn, and he gets outside. He sees a procession of Native Americans walking through the truck and directly through his seat, only to disappear at the exact spot that he was sitting. He said it was clear they were ghosts because many of them appeared injured. And this went on for a few seconds, and then the whole procession disappeared. He called the other perimeter guy on his walkie-talkie to try to explain, and the other guy almost immediately stopped communicating. It turns out the other guy had seen this happen before but didn't believe in ghosts, so he wouldn't talk about it. But that was by Darth Santa Claus 27.
Darth Santa.
Aw, thank you, Ethan.
Now go get a shot, you filthy animal.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Ethan. We appreciate it a bunch. But that's a cool story. Again, with imprints, that's probably more residual, though. Yeah. Do you guys agree?
I would.
Yeah. What do you think, Nace?
Agree.
Okay, good. Survey says agreed. Moving on.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're going to be going to break, ladies and gentlemen. Last break of the night, and then we'll come back and we'll do the last half hour. We're going to go through some Phantoms and Monsters reports, so don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal. folks, we are back and back at it. Of course, I'm joined by Don Longbeard and Naysay.
Naysay!
And we are going through the night. It's been an absolutely warp trip through the portal, but it's going good. You doing good, Naysay?
Sorry, I was a hey choka.
Hey choka? Is that a
hey choka?
Is that a Anishinaabe for something?
No, the Guan people, Lakota, Dakota, Nakota, they have people called the contraries or the Heyokas.
Heyokas.
And
okay.
because I was participating in PPP, I was a Heyoka.
Gotcha.
I gotcha. So we've got a couple of chats going on in the chats. Ruger says, "I saw a Native American ghost at the lake." And then another comment, he says there was about 8 of them all pulling canoes up off the bank.
Wow.
And that's really cool. I think if I saw something like that, I would feel absolutely honored to be able to witness that snapshot of time, that just, I don't know. You don't know whether they're intelligent or like intelligent hauntings or if it's just a residual imprint. But either way, it's like time traveling in a sense. You're looking at some event from the past. And I think that's so powerful.
Yeah, it wasn't anything visual.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I shared this one with you, Brent, about 2 years ago when, do you remember there was a couple times where I would call you from the powwow grounds when I was on the reservation?
Mm-hmm.
And one time a buddy of mine, Lonnie, to digress, my family, we purchased a buffalo, a bison for the meat.
Okay.
And I asked if I could have the head. And so we went to go and pick up the bison head and hide, and we have it in the back of the van. And we go, since we were so close to the powwow grounds, I said, hey, let's go and hang at the powwow grounds a little bit and just chill. So while I was there at the powwow grounds, all of a sudden I get this sight or this vision or something that at the top of the powwow grounds, there's the arborarium, like the very center. If you think of a big circle with a center circle, that's the arborarium.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go to the east, it goes down the hill, and then there's a fire pit where they have the sacred fire. Well, we were right in between that line of where the arborarium was and the fire pit, and we were facing east. All of a sudden, I get this vision of elders standing up there where there is no arborarium. They were like selecting the ground. So they look around and they okay, this is the middle of the ground. So then they walk down that straight line to where the sacred fire was, and then they kept walking east, and then they walk into the woods.
Mm.
Well, this struck me, like, why would they do this? When then all of a sudden it hit me that, there must be another lodge out there in the woods. And so then the next week, I think it was the powwow. And when I went to the sacred fire, I asked if there was any individuals around that have been, there more than 20 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So this individual, ironically, whose name was Kevin, who was a person that helped maintain the powwow grounds. And I asked them, I said, hey, is there a Meday Lodge or another medicine lodge if you head straight east into the woods from here? And he said, yes, there is.
Wow. That's cool.
That in the equal distance from where the sacred fire is to the arborarium, if you follow that distance to the east, there is where supposedly the old Meday Lodge used to be held.
That's amazing. Very powerful. That's cool. We also had a comment from Karen. She said, I saw a ghost when we lived in a haunted house in Laramie. When I was little, we saw him all the time. Residual, I think. He was just there. That's really wild. And somebody made a comment of a pinafore. And Don just looked it up. I'm like, what's a pinafore?
Isn't it kind of an old-fashioned dress?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, it's like the sleeveless apron that they used to put on over everything, so it had no sleeves and it was white and it came down in the front like an apron.
Oh, right.
So I'm chuckling. It says, I think it'd be cool to see the ghost of Native Americans. Maybe not during my private time reading my magazine when I'm roughing up the suspect.
Yeah.
I know. I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Oh boy.
Can't get no privacy.
It's those magical moments.
Wes
only here on the portal, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, put that magic wand away.
It's got to use back. It's got to get some kind of use. I'm going to leave that all the way the hell alone.
Roughing up the suspect.
Oh my God! I don't get paid enough.
Why? That's payment
Well,
enough.
I just want to point out that we made it to the last segment before we got here. Usually in the past, we're here within the first, second segment.
We're in the gutter right off the bat. Well, I guess it gives us a clear shot to the finish. But
Clear shot to the up. That too.
oh my God, Don, I could say Twinkie right now and you start howling.
Unfortunately for me, it would be a shot in the dark.
Yeah. Amen, brother. All right, so Donald rejoin us eventually. Let's see, what are we gonna do here? I said we're gonna do some phantoms and monsters. There was a couple of reports here that were about some weird entities and stuff from Phantoms and Monsters. Of course, this is Lon Strickler's site, and it's a great site. Definitely check it out and help support what he's doing. But he not only has Phantoms and Monsters, but he has a Phantoms and Monsters radio podcast that he's doing as well. And I think it was just it comes on air about an hour before we do. So it works out pretty perfectly, I guess. But definitely check it out. He's always got things going on over there. But there's a couple of reports here that I wanted to hit tonight. I don't know where we get, but this is one I thought was weird because this is one of those accounts you just don't hear very often, if at all. But this is a report from May 12th of this year, and it's, again, phantomsandmonsters.com. And it's huge red minotaur encountered by brother and sister near Louisville, Kentucky. So, I don't know, minotaurs. You don't hear about them very often, but it says a young brother and sister encountered a red minotaur-like creature in the woods around Louisville, Kentucky, and each see the beast differently, possibly being a shape-shifting entity of some type. It says, my pop told me of an experience he had with his twin sister when they were kids. My grandfather's house was in a very forested area on the outskirts of Louisville, Kentucky, and they would walk through the woods as a shortcut in any given direction. One day when they were walking home through the woods, they reached the tree line to their backyard. In their backyard, my pop saw what he described as an all-red, 7-foot-tall, half-man and half-bull type creature like a minotaur from Greek mythology. He said that this red creature had the upper body of a man with curved horns on its head, and the lower body had 2 hairy legs with hooves. He said that this monster was snorting, snarling, and beating its hoof on the ground like it was going to charge at them. That it was obviously evil and wanted to hurt them.
That's a bluff charge.
Yeah, well, you hope so. He told my aunt that they needed to get out of there quickly, but he was shocked when she said it was cute and that she wanted to pet it.
What? It's
My aunt was seeing the same creature, but was seeing something completely different. She said that the creature was calling for her and looked so nice that she wanted to pet it. My pop refused and forced her away. This is the part in every scary movie that you call the person an idiot because you can't be that stupid. My pop was never one to tell ghost stories, but I always chalked it up. It's spelled wrong, but chalked it up to that. A few years after he told me, I visited my aunt and I always thought about the story and wanted my aunt to bust the story saying it was fake or 1 in a million chance say that it was just somehow true. When I asked her about it, my pop wasn't in the room, and she mirrored every single thing that my pop said. She told me everything that my pop said and everything that she saw. She described the creature being all red and cute. It was really big WTF moment for me because I believe them. Also because it sounded terrifying. My pop is a very logical, God-fearing man, and my aunt was a very honest and sweet woman. She was actually murdered in Los Angeles in 2016. Oh, wow. That's horrible. So just writing about her makes me kind of emotional due to her being my pop's best friend and obviously my aunt. My pops thinks they saw two different things because he had just accepted Jesus into his life and she hadn't yet. Other than that, he has no idea. They never saw it after that. See, that's a weird thing. It's just a one-off kind of thing like that.
No.
But what is it? I don't get the feeling that it was probably actually physically there, like it was more of a spiritual thing. But what do you guys think?
Well, looking at that picture, he obviously doesn't hit the gym because he ain't got the gun show going on.
The gun show is a little weak. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a lot weak.
Maybe it's all in the legs. Maybe it's all in the legs for bulls.
BB gun.
He's got the Nerf guns cooking. What do you think, Naysay?
Well, it makes me think in our technologically advanced state that we're in, that we're doing things that 100 years ago would think is miraculous and miracles. Right. So if there are entities that have the ability to transverse the universe, then I would believe that they would have super advanced technology. And one of these technologies that I think, assumption, from my insane world, is that, say, Brent and Donnie go driving somewhere, and then something happens, and there's an extraterrestrial. Well, I believe that the extraterrestrials have such advanced technology that they can read both Brent's and Don's minds, and then they could manipulate their minds so they see what is, Achman's razor. So like if Don believes in minotaurs, then he sees a minotaur. If Brent thinks, he's seeing a ghost, you see a ghost. And that these extraterrestrial entities will do this because they have such advanced algorithms with their computers or maybe even AI, where they could say, okay, we don't want to scare Don and we don't want to scare Brent. So let's have Brent see a fairy and let's have Don see a leprechaun. So that's my assumption.
Sure. Yeah.
But then on the other spectrum, it just could be Don seen a minotaur and Brent saw a ghost.
What about this though? What about if it is, let's say it's an entity, but they wanted the girl but not the boy, like for whatever reason.
Right.
So is that perhaps why each perceived it in a very unique way? They both sounds like they both saw the same physical thing, but both of them had two very different perceptions of it being approachable versus being extraordinarily dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. And
so it was like it was luring the girl, but making the boy fearful. That's what occurs to me is that, like, well, is it a very targeted thing like that? So yeah, I think you're right. Either if it's
that would make sense too.
Sure.
In the whole aspect of like, if it's wanting to lure one of the people to come with them, then it would present itself as, malevolent or benevolent.
Right. Yeah. No, I think so. That's pretty good take on it. Yeah, I think it's weird because these one-off kind of stories like that come up kind of, surprisingly often, enough to make you wonder, well, it's got to be something that can project an image.
Right.
That's what it leads me to believe anyway, something that is able to affect the way it's perceived, and whether that's a shape-shifting or if it's just affecting the perception centers of different people in different ways, I don't know, but I think that's pretty powerful stuff. And I think whatever it is, if it's spiritual or extraterrestrial, it certainly would fit the bill in either case. I don't know. I don't usually believe that extraterrestrials are probably all that evil, although they do some weird stuff that I can't quantify or understand, but according to a lot of claims that are out there. But I think it's a cool story.
Well, and let me add to it, with my ancestors going to these rituals and these ceremonies, I have witnessed things that my American public school education system has not allowed me to extrapolate what I experience and explain it.
Right.
So I can only explain it as magic with a K.
Yeah.
So if that's one end of the spectrum, then the other spectrum would be a highly advanced technology. And I believe that there's everything in between,
Absolutely.
So at one spectrum, we as individuals have this natural magic that we can utilize within ourselves when we can tap into that universal energy that's there available for all of us. But then also, like we right now, man is trying to mimic nature through technology. It's almost the collision of the Fibonacci sequence with the golden mean spiral.
Sure.
Everything in between.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool. I think it's a strong take. It's very, very possible. Very weird stuff, man. But whatever it is, we'll never know, I'm sure. But let me just see if I got that closed now. Yeah, I got to close that. All right.
Well, for $19.99, I'll tell you.
Plus shipping and handling.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll be your many sins man. $19.99.
$19.99. I don't even know.
Rattle included.
I have no idea what we're talking about anymore. I'm confused. I'm frightened and confused now.
Just bring a drum.
Here's another report from Phantoms and Monsters. This one is also having to do with cryptids, and this is from May 13th as well, which is today. It's brand new. It's today old. It's Bigfoot terrifies young man and his family in North Alabama. Let's see what this one says. A young man in North Alabama recalls his encounter with a Bigfoot while in the woods near his house. Other members of his family have also heard activity in the same area. So it says, this was in spring of 2005 when I was in my last year of high school. It was a clear, pleasantly warm April morning in northern Alabama. I went outside and walked out into the woods. It was probably about 100 feet from my house, and there are a lot of small and large pine trees in the area. It's very hard to move around in parts of the woods around here, but I was enjoying the nice weather, and when I heard a loud crack behind me. I thought it was my dog at first, but as I was turning, I realized that he couldn't make that loud of a noise. What I saw terrified me. I'd never seen anything like it. It was at least 7 feet tall, dark, bipedal, and clearly much stronger than a human. The sun was in my eyes, so I couldn't get a good look at its face. It was moving right at me through the thick pine trees, or pine woods. I've never run so fast in my life. I've never ducked and jumped so many trees that fast without tripping. I ran out to the road 50 feet and then to my driveway 35 feet and up into my lawn 40 feet. The whole time I could hear it snapping branches. I listened to it snap branches as it moved further into the woods and out of my hearing. My dog didn't go out until that afternoon. I've never even heard of Bigfoot before. I found the BFRO website and read about Bigfoot for the first time. In August of that same year, I was outside in my driveway. I didn't go out in that part of the woods for another year or so. I was shocked to hear eerily similar snapping sounds and loud shuffling from the same area where I had seen it before. Then I heard incredibly loud wood knocks, 3 at a time, then a break, then another 3. Then it stopped. Complete silence. For whatever reason, I picked up the biggest stick I could find near me and whacked a tree 3 times with it. The sound it produced was nothing close to what I had just heard. That night, I read about Bigfoot wood knocks for the first time. I'd never heard of them before. I apologize for my rambling, but I have a few more stories. My aunt and uncle and their kids live a mile or so up the road. My other aunt lives in with my grandmother on the same driveway. My uncle was going out to feed 2 goats for the night when he heard massively large wood knocks coming from the woods, accompanied by incredibly loud breathing. He's a big guy, probably around 200 pounds. He ran back to the house and never feeds the ghosts at night anymore.
Did you just say ghosts?
Goats.
You did say ghosts.
No, I said goats, but I don't think I enunciated the T enough. I was like goats. My last story came from my aunt and uncle. One night their dog was acting strangely. This is a Texas healer and is incredibly protective and will chase just about anything that comes onto his property that he doesn't recognize, including deer and other large animal. Anyway, my aunt and uncle both heard a loud snap that they say was as loud as a gunshot. My uncle took the dog and went to see if everything was all right with my other aunt and grandmother. As soon as he got out of the door, he swears he heard distinctly bipedal walking in the woods. He tried to get the dog to chase after it, but he refused. This same dog now has to be leashed and caged because he attacked several UPS guys. I'm not a believer. I'm a knower.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that's a lot of pretty normal activity for being around Bigfoot. The weird thing is the pursuit, though. What is it? Is that an intimidation thing or what? And who can tell? But why did it chase that kid out of the woods? Guess,
maybe it's too close to its lair.
That could
nest.
be. Good point. Could be very territorial and just like, nope, get the hell away. That's where the missus is. She's got a nap and a headache. You don't mess with her when you got a headache. Sorry, that was stupid. Anyway, yeah, I don't always make a whole lot of sense.
She's lost her hair.
We taste like chicken.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that could be true. But every behavior that was mentioned in this is very typical Sasquatch behavior. The wood knocking, the trees getting broken, bipedal walking. I don't know. It sounds like they got a Bigfoot around, right?
It does. Yeah.
And he saw it. It was well over 7 foot or whatever. So that's plenty big. Or was that the other story that he saw?
That was the other one.
That was the other one. Okay, well, this one was big too, I'm sure, because a tree knocked louder than anybody ever heard.
And the gunshots, yeah.
And it sounded like gunshots. Yep. So, at any rate, that's another one. We got 3 minutes. I guess that's going to be about it for the narratives tonight.
Thank you, Elaine.
What did Elaine do?
Elaine said just got off work and came in to hit the like.
Came in to hit the like? Oh, that's so sweet. Don's got buttons. He's got buttons, ladies, and he's not afraid to use them. He's pushing mine all night long. All right, so
and I can push yours too for $29.99.
That's right. He's available for hire. I don't even know what that means.
Gigolo,
no,
everywhere I go.
No. I guess that's gonna wrap it up for the show. Basically, and they say, "What's going on with you? How can people stay in touch with you, brother?"
Oh, if they click their heels together 3 times and spin clockwise while rubbing their head and patting their belly and saying my name in reverse, then I might show up.
Mixelplick.
Yeah. Essen? Essen? Is that Essen?
Yeah, SN. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There you go. Well, I mean, is there a way people can stay in touch with you or anything like that, brother?
Well, I do have a YouTube page.
Okay.
I have a couple of them, and all of them like and subscribe to Paranormal Portal. There's the Cannabis Res Solution, REZ Solution, and there's the Megaphone Man.
There you go.
All one word. Also, Kevin Richard Shores is attached to it. You might see me in future epic failures like rolling for governor of Minnesota or the 7th District United States Representative.
Awesome.
Still pondering it, though. I have a month to decide.
Well, let us know, because we definitely will encourage the vote for what it's worth. Not that we have a whole, huge global audience, but, we're doing okay. We'll put the word out there for sure,
let me
brother.
correct myself. I'm sorry. I'm going to roll for governor or roll for 7th District U.S. Representative.
Absolutely. But you're rolling like nobody's business, brother. And thank you so much
But
for
I'd
coming.
rather just roll there to Donnie.
Oof, yeah. Thanks for coming on the show, though, man. I don't even know what to do with that, but thanks for coming on the show, Nate. It's great to have you here, brother. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, my brother. Anytime you want or need me, I'm there for you.
I appreciate that. And hang on the line. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk in a minute. But Don, thank you, brother. Good to see you.
Yep, absolutely. Nice to be here.
All right. Remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be back 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here. Watch for us. Expect us. We'll be there.
We are Legion.